So I'm going to go over a few quick examples of things to remember when you are writing algebraic expressions. The first thing is that these are some of the common words that you need to know so that you can make an appropriate operation to go with it. Like words like adding or sum, that's a big one. Increased, more, altogether. These are all words that would go along with addition. And then you got all your words here. These would go along with subtraction. Division doesn't have as many, but these are the ones you might look for. And then for multiplication, these are the words that you would be looking for. And so some examples would be like right here. If I was asked to write an algebraic expression that represents 8 times the number p, the way I would write that is just by writing 8 and then a p right next to it. Especially if I'm typing this in the computer, as I know some of you will be, I am not going to bother with putting a dot because I don't know how to do that on a computer and I don't need to do that. If you put a number right next to a letter like this, that is a way of showing that they are being multiplied. If it says 12 increased by a number, J, that means that I would write 12 increased by means plus or addition, the number J. So I'm going to write my J, even though, sorry, it looks kind of weird. If it says 7 fewer than the number N, remember we said that anytime the phrase includes the words than, or from, that you have to switch the order of the letter and the number. So the fact that this says 7 fewer, that tells me subtraction, but it says 7 fewer than the number. That means I'm actually going to write this as N minus 7. Again, I switched the order of the variable and the number, but I still use subtraction. And anytime I see the word than or from, I do that. The next one says a number times 40. I know technically that would make me think I'm going to use a variable for a number and I would usually write it as x times 40. But the way I'm actually going to type this or write this is 40 in front and then the variable next to it, just because that's typically how you see it written. The number in front, then the variable. And again, I don't need an operational sign in between these because when I put a number right next to a variable, that shows that they're being multiplied. The next one says the quotient of a number, G and 6. Quotient means division, and I'm going to show you how I'm going to write this. I'm going to write it the same way that you could literally type it if you're on a computer. I'm going to write G, and then I'm going to do like a backslash and then a 6, because when you do G/6, that is a good way of showing that we're doing G divided by 6, and you can literally type that from a keyboard. The last one here says a number subtracted from, there's that word again, 23. So it says subtract, and technically it says a number, so that'd be my variable, and then it says subtracted from 23. But because of this word from, anytime it says than or from, I switch the order. So I'm actually going to write 23 minus x. Now, if it doesn't say than or from, then you don't switch the order, and that really only shows up with subtraction anyway. And again, the way that I have these written, I could have typed them using a keyboard if I was doing this assignment on a computer.